Hey everyone, welcome back to another Sims 4 YouTube video. Today, happy St. Patrick's Day for all those who are celebrating. Today, we are going to be learning how to download and install the Fairies versus Witches mod. I did a mod review a while back, so I'll go ahead and link that in today's video. So if you want to watch a full mod review on both the Fairies and Witches, you can do that, because today's more, again, of a download and install tutorial. I know this mod can be a little tricky to download. It is quite easy, but I understand if there is some confusion. So hopefully in this video that can clarify exactly how to set this mod up in your Sims 4 mod folder to get it to work in game. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So here is the Patreon page for Spinning Plum Bobs. This is where all of his stuff is located. I'll go ahead and link the mod in the description, so if you do want to download it, the link is down below. But basically, this is the description page and where it gives all the information for the mods. I think if you're in the modding community for a while, you probably don't need an explanation of what this is. But the important thing to note first is it is compatible with the new Crystal Creations patch, although it's not so new now, but it is pretty new. This mod also does require the Realm of Magic game pack because it uses the UI interface with the Realm of Magic into this mod. So if you don't have Realm of Magic, it's not going to work. So that is the first reason why the mod might not be working, is that you don't have Realm of Magic. But if you do have Realm of Magic, you are good to download this mod. I'm not going to go through all of the descriptions for the mod. You can read that on your own. I'm just going to go down to the conflicts and requirements to the mod because this is a big one as well. There are mods that conflict and that have certain requirements for a mod to work. So we're going to go over this section right now. This mod overrides the venue underscore hidden glade and the cauldron underscore start underscore potion tunings, as well as 12 interactions for binding and unbinding the familiars from Realm of Magic, and will conflict with any mod that, alters the same resources from that mod. So that is very important to know. If you're downloading a mod, make sure it does not conflict with any of the resources within what was stated above. Now, the next one is pretty important because this one has 3 stars by it. It appears that with Fairies versus Witches, there is a conflict with a few of Zerbu's mod, mainly the Go to School mod and their mod that alters venues. Unfortunately, they're not sure if there's a fix for this conflict yet, but it is likely the reason why the fairies are not showing up in Sylvan Glade. So if you have this mod, make sure to take it out, those 2 mods that were mentioned, because that's probably why you are not getting your fairies to show up in Sylvan Glade. But the next one is the Fairy and Witches mod. Again, is base game. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it does require Realm of Magic, but there are some interactions that do require seasons to be fully functional with this mod, but it should work perfectly fine without seasons. Like I said, some interactions would require seasons, but if you don't, it is still fully functional within your game. So don't think that it's not going to work if you don't have seasons. If you have seasons, great. If you don't, it's okay. The next one is he does put out that his other mods, the White Lighters and Expanded Mermaids, have also been updated with bug fixes and necessary changes to interact with this mod. So he does highly recommend to download those as well. So if you want to, go check those out. They'll be on his Patreon page for you to download if you are interested in those mods. I forgot to mention, within this mod, they don't say that it is required for XML Injector. However, if you play with other mods, I highly recommend adding XML Injector, just because that mod helps other mods coincide with each other, if that makes sense. So if you don't have XML Injector, I would highly recommend downloading that if you have other mods. If you're just playing with the Fairies and Witches mod, then you should be fine just play without it. That's about it for the conflicts and requirements on that end. These are some frequently asked questions with the mods, so if things are not working, you could read these and figure out which one is what is happening with your computer for the mod not to work. So moving on to the actual download portion. This is the zip file that you need to download. But before we download, there is another mod that goes with Fairies versus Witches that I do want to cover, because this one, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit confused when I first downloaded it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And that is the animated wings mod. This mod is literally perfect with the fairies versus witches to get that realistic look for your fairies in game. Again, it is compatible with the latest Crystal Creations patch, which is good. This mod really should not have any conflicts because it's more so kind of like a cast object, although it's not really, but this is like the description of the mod. It's kind of like a cast mod, it's kind of not, because the way that you get the wings is through your fairies. So there's like a page where you can basically open up the wing section and select the wings in your game for your Sims to have applied those wings, like right here. So if you want more of a description of how to get the wings to work in game, that is in my mod review that I did for the fairies. Again, that will be linked below, but today is the installation part of it. So compatibility wise, this mod should not break anything. It should not conflict with anything. However, there is a conflict with Wicked Whims. If you're doing the enhanced woohoo, there is an interference with the wings staying on your Sims during that. So that's really the only, I wouldn't even say bug, just like an interference with the mod. So if you play with Wicked Whims and your Sims are fairies, good luck. Not that it won't work. It will work fine. Just you might have the wings stay on. You can take them off though. The next part is mainly the mod download for this. It's very important because there are 5 different wings that you can download in your Sims 4 game to have options. You need to download this main mod. If you do not download the main mod, it is not going to work in your game because this is, again, the main mod to the other add-ons in the game. So if I wanted the Disney fairy wings and I just downloaded that, it's not going to work if I don't have this folder. So that's very important to keep in mind because if you don't have this, it's not going to work in your game. But you are able to download any add-on you want. You don't have to download all 5. You can download the ones that you want. If you want all 5, great. If you don't, that's completely okay. So the next part we'll get into actually downloading the mod. So all you do is just click on the link and it should pop up there. We'll go back to my download page for Fairies versus Witches and I'll click on that and it should pop up right there. If you watched a lot of my mod reviews, you probably know by now that the next part does require an archiver. I use BreezeZip and that works wonders on my computer. I'm on a PC, but as far as I'm concerned, they should work on both platforms for Mac and Windows, I'm pretty sure, but it basically unarchives your zip folder to make it compatible with your Sims 4 mod folder. So the next thing is to unzip these files. All right, so the next thing that I did want to go over before I get to unzipping, I always forget to do this, but this is also important when you're downloading a mod, is to delete the highlighted folders. So these are the folders that I delete, when you're downloading a new mod or even just clearing up your folder so it runs a lot smoother. So here's my download folder, here's my mod folder. As you can see, we have the 2 mods that I downloaded today. So the first one is we'll go to the Fairies and Witches. Once you've installed your unarchiver, you will basically double click on the folder. Once you do that, this should pop up with the folder in this little window right here, and you just click extract, and then it should load and it should pop up with a file folder. Once you have it into a file folder, you can click on it and you can see all of the stuff that is included with the mod. And what you do is just move this file folder into your mod folder. Now we'll need to do that with animated wings as well. So you'll just do the same thing, double click it, and then it also has installation instructions as well. So we'll just click extract again. And then once it is downloaded into that file folder, we can move this file folder over. You can also click on this text document as well to get the installation instructions for the mod, but it's basically what I just did with extracting the folder and putting the mods into my mod. So when we go into the Sims 4 game, it should appear in your mod preview, that preview list that pops up. And now that I am in game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on options. Once I click on options, I'm going to go to game options. Then I'm going to go down to other. And then once I'm in other, I'm going to hit this view custom content, and it should pop up with all of your mods and custom content in your game. So we're going to go down to script, but as you can see, it already has the animated wings here for your Sims, and then it should also pop up with all of the Fairies versus Witches stuff as well, so we know that that is properly downloaded into our game, and we can see it as well right here. So that is a good sign. And so after doing all of that, it should work in your game. If you have any questions or if you're still running into issues, let me know. I do want to preface though that I am not the creator of the mod, so if there is a bigger issue, then you might want to reach out to the mod creator. But again, if you have any questions or concerns with the mod, let me know down in the comments section. But with that, that is how you download the Fairies versus Witches mod in The Sims 4. So thank you all so much for watching. Happy Sunday, and I will see you all tomorrow.